The format of the shir is a little bit different today. I would like to speak about two questions that I had, and I believe that both of them are nogeya to many people, at least conceptually, and perhaps halachically also. Chaim, over there is a lavush. Could you get me a lavush? The first one, which I'd like to speak about, I'm going to tell you the way it happened because I sometimes find my job amusing. There are people who try to manipulate the questions that they ask. Every question that's asked, you could say, is it mutter? Is it aser? What's the right thing to do? There's many ways to present your, and just for those who are linguists, your dilemma. A person has a dilemma, which comes from the word in Aramaic, dilma, right? Perhaps I should do it this way, perhaps I should do it that way. And people have this issue, and usually people have a preconceived notion of what they want, and they ask the question in accordance to that. My Torah source here.
No, everything's fine.
Oh, everything's
I'm
fine?
looking to hide the rounds for.
Okay, I don't mind seeing me. I see double. That's good. I have a right eye and a left eye. I feel like Bilam over here. Anyways, I have a source, a fascinating thing. The Ksav Sefer tells us that when Besuel was asked about Rivka going to marry Yitzchak, it said, "V'yishal es piho." And she said yes. So he said that she has to say explicitly she wants to go. Then came the setup. You want to go with this guy? Which there was a strong influence that she shouldn't go. There was a hint from the parents that she shouldn't go. And she yishalas piyah means she has to say explicitly, and she was a tzenua, she's not going to say explicitly. And she said, she overcame her national inhibition to do the right thing. So sometimes people say, is there a heter for me to do this? Or should I be machmer on this? Etc. I get asked these questions all the time, just on a moving question which I was asked yesterday. And sometimes you say, what benefit do you have from having to answer shilas? So one of them is that you get shemayim from people. Someone came over to me, a Sefardi guy that I know very well, a Bentera, Hamas of Bentera, and he says, we Sefardim, we're mekel in 3 weeks. We only start from Rosh Chodesh. Ha'im yesh inyan li lachmir. Shimon, why?
It's amazed that someone would ask that. It's usually the opposite way.
That's what I said. That's my schar for being a rabbi, right?
I'm amazed.
So what's the answer to the question?
Because it's got to follow the unanimous fathers, hasn't it? Like we say,
Now is a very wide, broad word.
This is the question that I was asked, right? What am I supposed to answer him? So I don't expect you to answer him, but I first would like to qualify the question. There are two different kinds of customs that exist in halachic nature. There are things which are halachically based. In other words, these people paskin like the Beis Yosef, and these people paskin like the Ramos. So there's different customs, but those are based on solid halachic approaches to a subject, and there is bedrock reason for this and for that. And then there are minhagim. Minhagim are giving over a certain kind of a concept. They're not ikar halachas, and different places have different minhagim. This halacha of that which we do from the 3 weeks is not a halacha, it's just a minig. Don't quote me on that, it's just a minig, but it's just a minig, right? So the Sefardim don't have that minig, but here it's not they don't disagree with that minig, they don't have that minig. You understand?
They don't really
disagree with the concept and just didn't take it.
Right, they didn't come. It wasn't mitrokem ad kedei that they embraced it. You understand? So
It goes in the category of a chumrah.
So that's exactly what I'm saying. The word chumrah is the wrong word because it's not a halachic. Chumrah is when you have a halacha. There's no halacha.
It would be personal chumrah.
And a personal
Say,
chumrah.
I'm not going to eat meat for except Shabbos. Personal chumrah.
It's not a chumrah. A person says, I'm not going to eat meat because I'm choishish that the shechita is no good. That's a chumrah. A person says, I'm not going to do that, so then he's an oived on his midah of achila. He's not being machmer. There's nothing that he is being more stringent on. He is being oived HaKadosh Baruch Hu by not eating. He doesn't have a halachic issue. He's not a machmer. I know it's a technical term, but it means a totally different concept. A person who says, I'm going to learn an extra half hour, is he a machmer? What?
If I remember, Mesilas Yesharim uses machmir more even on the character building thing.
I don't recall that that's how he does it, but echshu, lo mishaneh. So this is the point of the question was that this is not halachic based. This is avodas Hashem based, and I see that there's such a concept. So perhaps I should embrace the concept.
So they said, I want to keep it for 30 days, not just for weeks, 30 days. Because 30 days is a possibility.
So I'm going to answer that question. If we don't find that anybody did it, so then it's hard to go there. But once it already has materialized, and there are those people who have certain things that they don't do because of the Churban. You know, I know people, I think there's somebody in America, and they told me that they got a new chandelier before Rosh Hashanah, and the guy to put it up just want to know which nation you are part of. The guy who put it up didn't come, some Russian guy didn't come until Erev Sukkot. So he came Erev Sukkot, so the lady had him put it up, but didn't have him put the crystals on the chandelier. And she told me the reason why she didn't put the crystals on the chandelier, Erev Sukkot, I'm going to beautify my house, but I'm supposed to be living in the sukkah. I'll wait till after Sukkot. After Sukkot was the 7th of October. She said, I'm going to beautify my house when Kal Yisrael's B'tzaros, and the crystals are still, they haven't been put away. Aren't you proud to be Jewish? This is the nation that we're part of. Now, is that a chumrah? That's a sensitivity of avodas Hashem and feeling for Kal Yisrael. It's not a chumrah. That's not a chumrah. It's a different thing, right? Anyways, so he asked me this question. I told him, just to get to the bottom line, I told him you should not do it because if you are not there 1,000%, it's Mechzi keyuhara. You should not do it. I don't think you should. There's somebody I know. I didn't say anything. He asked me about this thing in particular. This is something. What? He wanted to do the minhagim of the 3 weeks that Ashkenazim from the 17th, right? So that was my answer to that fellow. Could be somebody else would ask me a question. I'd say it's a different answer, but that was my answer to him. You have to do it. You have to do it 100%, and not just buy into the system. You have to really be there. Yes. Mechzi keyuhara is that I am better than thou. I don't have to tell you that I'm better than thou, because I know I'm better than thou. I don't even care about you enough to tell you. Okay? Got that?
You have to give up kidneys also.
What?
But you have to give up kidneys also.
He doesn't have that feeling. He has over here a feeling, and that's what I told this person. Now,
until it would turn into him that of course this is what you have to do.
I don't know. I can't say this is this was a question I answered. Now, someone came over to me. That was an introduction. Someone came over to me and he said to me, how much do I have to be machmer to tell my daughter not to take her music lessons in the 3 weeks? Ashkenazi. So I said, I will not answer that question. Now, the person is not a member of Avos Shalom. If you remember Avos Shalom, so he asked me a question. Perhaps I have to answer him, but he's not a member of Avos Shalom. They don't have to answer him. So he says, why don't you want to answer me? I said, your question is illegitimate. You meant to say, is it permissible for me to be mekel and have my daughter take music lessons? Why don't you ask me that question?
Then he just asked, can his daughter take lessons?
No.
You know what? That's the option which he mentioned. That option, right? There's a variety of options. One option is you start off that the default is to be machmer. Another one is the default is to be mekel. Another they could say Dilma. I don't know, right? So the question, and I'm belaboring this point because this point is very important. I went to somebody's house in Flatbush once, and he gave me a tour of his house. And after the tour of his house, I had to stop in the middle and say Tefillah Saderech. And after the tour of his house, so he asks me, do I have any questions? So I wasn't going to dazzle him with my architectural and design questions. I asked him a yeshivish question. I said, where's your Zecher Churban? So the guy says, oh, I don't have a Zecher Churban. I said, why not? I said, I asked Rabbi Shaila, and he said, I don't have to have one. So I said to him, where's your Zecher Churban? So he said, I told you. I said, we did it 3 times. I said, I don't understand. Why did you ask Rabbi Shaila? Did you ask Rabbi Shaila you shouldn't make a Zecher Churban? Or you asked Rabbi Shaila, do I have to have a Zecher Churban? After the Rav said you don't have to have one, he didn't say it's also to have one. So the reason you don't have one is because you don't want one. So I'm asking you again, how come you don't have a Zecher Churban? Don't hide behind the rabbi. How come you don't have one? I was much younger, yes, this is true. This is true. Yeah. Right. You're with me? You're with me? Okay. So I said to the fellow, let's discuss the question. What do you want to say? You want to say that the reason that it should be mutter, can you please give me a kaf chaim? It's over there. What do you want to say it should be mutter? Because she's not taking lessons and enjoying the music. She's doing it in order to become more dexterous and get the time, there's a reason why I don't do music, you understand? Right? And she's doing it for those reasons. And maybe she's going to have some hana, and that's called hana shabola bal korchoy. So there's no reason, baby, that should be answered. Maybe that's what you're asking. He says, yeah, that's what I'm asking. I don't know if he was asking that or not, but that's what he said. Sifkat and Lamites. Taf Kof Nun Aleph Sifkat and Lamites. Tal. And is it? No. It's neither one but Zion. Okay. So I said, is that what you want to say? I said, that's not a good reason. So why is that not a good reason? He says to me, I said, because the Pri Megadim who he discusses this issue, he's only mater somebody whose job is to be a musician for the Goyish royalty to do it until Rosh Chodesh, where there it's not so much Medina. But if the halacha is it's Hanosh Abba Adam Bal Korchoy, it should be mutter even after Rosh Chodesh. So for some reason, it seems to me that doesn't work. So your daughter is benefiting from the music. What's the reason that it should be mutter? So he's like a little getting sheepish. He's understanding already that this is like, better not open his mouth too much. So I said, Elamai, what are you going to say? That she's going to digress. So I said, we learned here in the Yerid and Chalamoid, if it happens to be that the Yerid comes out on Chalamoid, so then you're allowed to go. But if the Yerid is going to always be on Chalamoid, if you know that that's what you have to do, why did you start your lessons after the 3 weeks? You knew the 3 weeks were coming. You planned this.
That's what he was doing. He was starting then?
I know what I'm talking about. These are not people taking it. You planned this. You knew what was going to come, and you knew to ask this question. Wait till after the 3 weeks, you don't have to digress. Hilchos Chalamoid says that you don't necessarily have a heter, even if she's going to be taking a step back. And tell me something. Is she really that good that she's going to be taking a step back? In other words, you have to be at a certain point to be taking a step back. Right? So, I said to him, so why should it be mutter? This is more or less the conversation. So he says, don't the place can speak about it? I said, yeah, you obviously saw what the place can speak about, right? So why are you asking me? I don't understand the question. How could you not feel guilty on this subject? Now, in the chuvas, I don't want to get involved in, I printed out some of the chuvas that are over here. V'lo hitim mishum einu miskaven l'shir. Maharam Shik, he is mater. Rak leparnasasai. Umuchach dein miskaven ein heter. Like we said. And there are those who say that Talmidim are allowed to do it if they're learning it for this to become their profession. Now, I didn't ask this guy if his daughter is learning in order for this to become her profession. I don't think that b'chugim shelanu, b'gadol, there are people that learn these things to become professional. Perhaps if they learn it and they're very good, then maybe they'll take a step. But people don't take, by and large, people don't take lessons to become professionals. That's not what's going on. So I said, I don't know where this comes from. It says, as I said, so you have to know the question over here. I'm just using this as an example, as a person has to be intellectually honest when they're asking the question and know really what is at cost. That was one question I wanted to share. The next question what I wanted to share.
Would it matter the age? Could the girl say she was 10 years old?
I don't know what 10 years old means. 10 years old is she's above the Chinuch for the Churban or not?
I know. The fact that she's under 12 doesn't make a difference in this connection.
No, she's the age of Chinuch for Churban, then she's over the age of Chinuch for Churban. She's not of the Chinuch of Churban. I just want to make a statement over here about Chinuch in general. I'm going to say something which is against what many of the conventional poskim that I agree with even on the subject. Okay? There are two aspects of Chinuch. There's one aspect of Chinuch of getting people accustomed to, and another aspect of being makayim, the mitzvah of Chinuch. Two different subjects. If, let's say, a child is the age of Chinuch at 5, we'll use that. So therefore, we should allow our children that are 4 to turn on and off the lights on Shabbos? Why not? But they're not bar chinuch. So there's you understand? There's another aspect to chinuch. If you're not going to teach your kid, in my opinion, if you don't teach your kid to say brachas from the time that he's 3 or 4, he's not going to be saying them when he's 10. Then, now you want to know if that's mutter or asr al pi halacha to do it. Yesh al mi lismoich that you could do it. But according to the Mishnah Berurah, your 4-year-old kid says a bracha, it's asr to answer amen. Well, bracha levatala, and you're not allowed to answer amen to it. Okay, so I know it's so.
Therefore,
What?
and
Why did that
therefore,
You're not allowed to have him make a bracha.
Oh, you should tell them, don't make a bracha.
Yeah, you're not supposed
So it's
to.
the opposite of what the Rabbi was just saying.
What did I say?
Okay, you disagree with me.
No, I said I did, even though I agree with them. But there's another aspect on who do I rely on. This subject I rely on the Ben Ish Chai. No, but there's the expense. The way I see the world that we live in, the expense is way too great, and we need to be makel. In the long run, that seems to be the way to go. No, this is not, and I don't think this is unique. That this is the approach. I think that's.
There's stories around about people who got punishing for not answering brachas at very little children.
Don't know. You have to show me the story. Again, someone talk to me.
Not so bad.
Do you hear me? I hear. What?
It's- I know. You can see his lips.
Whatever. Okay. All right. Anyways, all right. Now. I was asked another question today, and these are two questions today that I'm sharing them with you because I believe from these two questions we'll have a rounder understanding of these halachas. This fellow who asked me this question is also like a fruma guy. He says to me, my wife made for herself a new top. Can I wear it? Can she wear it before Rosh Chodesh? So I have, I'm like a diseased rabbi. Someone asked me a question. I don't usually believe that I have all the facts, even though he's asking me the question. It doesn't sound right. Somebody's wife made a top, and the punkt happened to finish that it was in the 3 weeks, and why am I being asked this question? There's more to the question than the question. So I took a guess. I said, perhaps your wife is expecting. And he said, yes, she is. So now the question makes a little bit more sense. She doesn't have what to wear, and that's why she's making herself a top, right? No, it's the question just changed from what it was a minute before. Now this guy is a fruma guy, and he will do his research. So I have to protect myself, so to speak. So I would like to share with you what I shared with him, which is a fascinating thing which we should all be aware of. If you didn't come to the shir just to hear what I'm about to say now, then it was worthwhile to come. Okay. No. So halacha is that one should not make a shehechiyanu in the 3 weeks unless it's on Shabbos, etc. That halacha. So on this halacha, the El Yerabba says as follows. Okay. Says the El Yerabba. Vatam given the zman who's zman pronius and the roch shehechiyanu zman hazeh. Aval ein atam mishum avelos, because you don't see that an oval is us to say avelos. Aval tzar shehechiyanu, fine.
Why would Shabbos be different?
What?
Why would Shabbos be different?
Oh, because then you're not supposed to be avelos either.
But he's saying it's not because of avelos.
Yeah, no, I understand, but that's okay. We'll get there in a second. Okay, now here he says, here's the piece, as follows. A person shouldn't wear new clothing. V'kasha dahavmi yud zayin betamas also shehechiyanu. What do you need to say? You should wear new clothing. Anyways, you can't make a shehechiyanu. V'tirtza Magen Avrohom da'ayli lelovash b'Shabbos demutar levorach. Aval yezuta shali kasafti b'shem al busha yontif. The b'malbush ika simcha tfei. Clothing has more simcha. V'aser af b'Shabbos. Just for the simcha reason. V'lachei nirali the kamashul and hacha. Da'af b'manolayim. Ubeged pishton. Kegoin ketoines, what we'll call underwear. She'ein mevorchen shehechiyanu. still you shouldn't wear because there's a greater elevated aspect of simcha. You don't have a problem. Ulefiza, says the El Yerabba, the author liknois beged mesukam bein hamasarim, al misha kona beged she'ena mesukam, v'nasan l'uman ve'en mevorach, ela b'shas shelo shoya isai. What the El Yerabba says is that even when you're not going to have a shehechiyanu problem, one should not wear a new garment. Because wearing new garments, there's an aspect of wearing new garments, gives you more simcha. Technically, it may be a shirt that, someone called me up from America on Erev Shabbos. He said, no, it was on Wednesday. He said that he didn't send his shirts to the laundry. Obviously, you can't expect his wife to wash them. This is America, right? So he wants to know if he's allowed to wear a new shirt. I said, for sure. I said, is it like a special shirt? He said, a weekday shirt. I'm going to wear a new weekday shirt for the weekday. I said, does that give you any simcha? Like I mean, I didn't see his face, but it was clear to me on the phone that he didn't even understand my question, right? So he's allowed to. Does the El Yerabba include that? I'm not sure. But a lady who sewed for herself a top is a mashu acher. It's 9 times better than a store-bought one. How do I know? Adam reitze bekav shaloi yoser mitisha kavim shel chaverei. So even if it's not better quality, which I'm sure she would say it is better quality, but even if it's not better quality, better design, better fit, better whatever the betters are, right? She's still happier with that. So Mamela, vadai uvadai, there's reason to tell her that she should not wear it. However, the whole conversation with him went like this. I said, L'daiti afilu l'dasa El Yerabba, your wife could wear it. And he said, what? I said, go take a look. I didn't want to get him too involved. And why? Because here you have a shas hatzorich. In other words, you can't say, why didn't you get it? She got expecting. She had to make it. This was not a planned out event. She took a look at her wardrobe and she saw that she needs to buy it. So lo makom lachmir, tzrichim lasot k'mo ikadadina. Right. So I'm just these 2 examples of kinds of halachas that there's halacha, there's information, and you have to know how to use it when you have a question. Halacha l'maisa. This is okay. That was just.
Simcha of the lady is not the, if I'm understanding correctly, is not the garment simcha. It's a farmer.
I promise you. I mean, I never met the lady, but I promise you that she will look in the mirror more times on her custom-made shirt than if she bought a shirt in the store. Well, yes or no?
For sure.
Why?
It would be the same thing if I painted a picture. If I
So that gives you more simcha.
But it's not because if I understood that Yerabba's point was that the
garments give you more simcha.
A garment, but not because I made it.
Kol shekain.
The simcha is that I made it, not that it's a garment.
No,
if
it's
I made
made
it. Or painting
no,
would be the same thing.
No,
it's because I produced
no,
it.
it's a hyphenated word. I made the garment. It's not I made and it's a garment. It's I made the garment. Tov. Anyways, Lo Mashana, that's the introduction to a little bit off the usual way of giving a shir. Now I think that we start off the sif. I think that we'll be in a much better place. Mishenichnas of mematim b'simcha. Now, this halacha is very important. That means that a person is not supposed to do anything which is simcha related. Not supposed to bring yourself to be happy. This is not a time to be happy. Now, this happens to be a time and this is very important. Very important. I had this question twice this week. Somebody is moving back to America. Is it appropriate to make a seudas preda in the 3 weeks? This is
Theoretically, people would be sad to see him go. And he's sad to go.
perhaps both of those are incorrect, right? But no, perhaps. But the question over here is: you're making a social gathering. Should it be done or shouldn't it be done? What is the point? What is the point of a seudas preda? And I believe that the answer to the question, the point of a seudas preda, is to give chizuk to a person. Person's leaving, you're being malav of the person, and you should not ask people backing him even where he was. No, it's not a
They didn't forget about you type of thing?
it's we're malava you. It's a livui. You're leaving empowered by the people you left behind. And being that that's the case, it's something which is a ben adam lechavero issue, a chizuk ben adam lechavero, and this is bedafka the appropriate time. No, it's the purpose is not. It's not a siba lemisiba. It's a chizuk ben adam lechavero, and that's exactly so. Not doesn't mean anything that you enjoy shouldn't be done. It's that's the first thing I wanted to mention. That okay. Sif base. We do less business and binyan shel simcha, which I was so excited about 2 or 3 years ago. I was asked a shaila on this halacha and shulchan aruch, which I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be asked such a shaila, and I don't know the word. You have to help me out. There's this thing that people make in their chatzer. That's something like a sukkah, a wooden thing.
Gazebo.
Yeah, what's it called?
Gazebo. Gazebo.
Okay, and what is that? It's a place to chill out. What is that? What? You don't have one. Me neither. Okay.
People have those in Israel.
Yes. What is this? Kegon avarniki shavolachim shenaitim litzel listafef betziloi. So what is that? I'm not sure. I have unclearness as far as people who make a shade in their pergola, what they're doing. I think that most people are doing it to make it livable. No, I don't think that. I think I'm not saying a definitive answer. I don't really, from my point of view in Beit Shemesh, even in the shade, it's not. If you could put an air conditioner in there, then we'd be talking. But it's not. The sun is merciless, and you have to have. It's not a hangout place. It's not. It's just to make that you should be able to use that open air place. It's not the same thing as your gazebo. Is that correct or is that incorrect?
It's been a while. It could be.
What? But is it the same? Is it the same purpose or not?
Can't they use for learning?
So it's to protect you. It's not a happening place. The reason a person makes a pergola, a shaded pergola, is so that you should be able to use it. I believe, I'm not sure. If it is so that you should be able to hang out there, then it's usher, the idea. And if it's there, I don't know the answer to the question because
If it has one of the swingy things, that's for sure.
I don't know. People have that in their living room too, right? When they're hanging out there, they want to have you have your kid, right? You want to have him have something to do. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to the question, And I don't have one of those things, but I think that by and large people make their pergolas to make it that you can live there, so to speak.
So people can go outside. The kids can be outside or whatever.
That's not that's not the same thing as listafes with selo, right? Let's say it's not the same thing. One is to make it useful, because otherwise it's. I know. How do I know this? Why was I ignorant on this? Somebody asked me a question. It's not again why it was negel halacha. They have the opportunity to build out a merpeset, and this was their question. I could build out the merpeset on the side that overlooks the body. That's beautiful. Or I could build it out on the side that looks to the opposing buildings, which is deathly boring, and you just have to look into the other guy's kitchen all the time. But the one that looks out to the majestic wadi, the sun beats there mercilessly a whole day. And in the other one, it's in the shade a whole day. So I said, well, what's the question? What's the question? Right? This is the question of your gazebo. You understand? What's your merpeset for? You want to use it? So that you make it in a place which is ugly. But you're able to use it. If you want to have majestic things, that's a different thing. All right. Stop over here.